I was out of my body, and I was floating in the corner of the room, right in behind the doorway where they brought me through. And I was floating up there, and I was just wondering, what are these people doing? And I didn't even realize it was me that they're working on. And all of a sudden, it was like somebody whispered in my ear, saying, they're helping you. Back in 1971, August 15th, 1971, we were up north, and me and my brother are going to go down to London and pick some corn and stuff like that, for the summer, and sell some corn and stay with our cousins and stuff like that. Basically, we were driving down to London, and my dad was reading a book on the Black Donnellys, and they were from Lucan, Ontario. So we stopped in at Lucan, Ontario, at the grave sites, and just to check things out while on our way down to London. And probably about 15 minutes after that, we're coming into London, and we just took our seatbelts off, like maybe a minute, and a guy came right into our lanes, and he basically T-boned our car, and it was like a really bad accident, without a doubt. My brother, he was stuck in the windshield for a while there. I started bleeding inside, from hitting the dashboard and stuff. Got to the hospital. I remember sitting just outside the operating room, and a police officer was interviewing the guy that hit us, and he said he didn't know why it happened. I remember getting pulled into the operating room. They're going to operate on me, my body, and I was floating in the corner of the room behind the doorway where they brought me through. And I was floating up there, and I was just wondering, what are these people doing? And I didn't even realize it was me that they're working on. And all of a sudden, it was like somebody whispered in my ear, saying, they're helping you. And I could do it all the time now, but like it's out of body for sure. Call it remote viewing or whatever you want to call it, but it's out of body. And the surgeon that was working on me, his name was Dr. Kane. He was a fellow from Africa, and he saved my life. And basically, the nurse, she really appeared to be different. The doctor did too, but I was more focused in on the nurse. Like, her head wasn't the normal shape; it was like the shape of a flame, candle flame, and basically she had light coming out of her. And she still had her nurse's uniform on, all that stuff. They had all their gear on. And I wound up traveling. I started to go into like a tunnel, like a little portal or something there. And then all of a sudden I came up the other side, and it was black. And then it went from being, like, I felt like I was still moving, well, from being black to bright light. And it looked like there was like another planet. It looked like a planet back then, way out in the distance there. And I thought I could see like little bits of light flickering, going past me and stuff. Like, I think differently of it all now. I think that maybe those little flickers of light might have been souls themselves, people passing from the earth here and stuff like that. And you probably have it every time this body dies. I don't believe for a second that our soul dies. I know for a fact that our soul can withstand some serious punishment and still live. In the life review and stuff itself, it's like you can feel the other person's pain. And even though that you might not be creating that pain, you can feel that they're in pain. And it's very important to be a positive person and be a good person. To each of us, like, I believe Jesus and God always believes that we should treat each other like we want to be treated. When I was younger, even before the accident, I remember my dad, our dryer had gone on the blanket at the house, so me and my mom went to the laundromat. We're at the laundromat, there's a little boy there, he's probably around the same age as me, he's maybe like 5 or something, 5 or 6. He took off a cross he had in his pocket, and he gave me this cross of Jesus. And I knew then, when I was a child, that there was something about the cross of Jesus. And I just want you all to know that. And I had that cross for the longest time. It literally fell apart. It was, I had it for so long. There's many scenes that, like literally, and they're going so fast, but you're right into it when it's happening to you. And like, I used to sneak downstairs because my dad used to make wine, and I used to get a little Coca-Cola bottle. It was like maybe 6 inches high, and I'd fill it up with Coca-Cola, and I'd go run out in the rhubarb, my mom's rhubarb patch, and I'd hide in the rhubarb patch. I'd drink my dad's wine, and I was just a little kid at the time, stuff like that. But I remember how wrong that was. Making the wine for everybody out there. Like I said, I can feel people's pain, and I can feel the goodness too in people and stuff too. So it was interesting. There's so many things I could say that how my life has changed from having a near-death experience. But one thing I do want to say is that I've asked the gods a few times, God, to use me as a tool in places. Their shepherd would be limping around and stuff like that. The owners would say, yeah, the shepherd's got bad hips and all that stuff, whatever. And I'd do my little thing for like maybe 20 minutes, just, and then put my hands on the hips of the dog, and the dog would just stand there. And then the next day, I'd be talking to him. He said, what did you do to my dog? And it's like, the dog, is much better. It's like it became younger again. But there's a lot of things that, and it's all through the energy of the gods. Like I asked them to let me be their tool, and they can use whatever they want from me, and go through me to get to other people and stuff. And I've, over the years, after the accident and stuff, many times I've shook somebody's hand, man and woman, that are adults, and I knew if they were sick or they were a good person or they're a bad person. It's just energy. Energy's an important thing, and I just want to say that there's many things that we can learn still that I think that probably the ancients knew better than we do, and we're more focused on what's on TV or this and that and everything else and stuff like that. But I can honestly say that there's no reason to fear death. We don't die. There's positive energy out there, intelligent energy, and there's negative intelligent energy, unfortunately, but that's just the way the universe works, I feel. And God is out there, without a doubt. He hears me still to this day. I'm 63 years old, going on 64, and he can still hear me when I speak up to them. Without a doubt, they're hearing me 100%. I've experienced so many different things in my life. I'm able to see so many different things, not only just spirits, but God. One of my nicknames when I was a kid was Hands, because when I touched people's hands, I was able to, like even my dad's guys and friends from work, we met him out in the grocery store or something. He introduced me and I'd shake the guy's hand. And I knew that he had a problem with his stomach or whatever, his health and stuff like that. And I'm able to pick up on quite a few things. I just want everybody to know that we're in tough times here right now, and have no doubt, have absolute faith. And when you have absolute faith, it's like flipping a switch. It's a key to absolute goodness. Like without a doubt, I was never like that until, God, probably 20 years ago, I was wondering why things were the way they were and stuff like out there, on our planet and stuff like that. And boy, I started truly believing, without a doubt, believing in God, believing in Jesus Christ. Without a doubt, there's a guy named Jesus Christ, and he was here to save us all, and humanity won't kill him. And he took, his life But he's still here. He's still around. That energy is still here. And be careful of what you do in your life, because just personally, I know for a fact that at the near year end, there is a life review. And I've experienced my life review already. And I could feel other people's pain. I experience everything.